Okay, so I was talking to my mom earlier because I watched Insidious, and I was telling her that as a child, I was able to walk away from my body when I was sleeping. It's called astral projecting, and she didn't look surprised. So, I kept talking to her, and she was telling me that, yeah, I would come up with these stories that I'd walk away from my body, and that I, would say that there was something after me, or I always felt like there's someone watching me. Well, I just kind of went into it, and I guess it's something that I've always had. I still think the last dream that I had was a couple of months ago. Um, I was, I think, somewhere in Visalia, a town north of where I live, and we were getting onto the overpass that connects to the highway, and I guess we were coming up too fast on the car in front of us, and we slammed into them. And what ended up happening is that we slammed into them, and I looked, and I was in the, I don't know how many seats this car had, but I was like in the fourth row in the back, and then the seat in front of me was completely empty, and then it was my mom sitting on the right hand side, no one next to her, and then it was the passenger seat, and no one was in that seat, but then it was my dad. And then what ended up happening is we get out of the car, and then it's just like this big old chaotic scene. Like, there's nowhere around, no one. I mean, no one was around, and kind of like this whole end of the world sequence. Like, there was a bunch of fires and like explosions and plumes of black smoke everywhere, and you can hear like this humming noise, like like how they kind of expect zombies to sound. Well, that's what I was hearing, and then I woke up. Weirdest fucking dream I've had in a while, and it seemed like it started off where my night terrors would start. Well, not start off, but like finish off. So I feel like maybe this added on to my night terrors. I'm not too entirely sure, but yeah, like I was saying about astral projecting, as a kid, I grew up in Porterville, and we lived a little bit outside of the city, in a town named Poplar. Well, this town, I don't know, glad we moved out of there, but, let me get back to my story, because I keep going off tangent. Well, we lived in this little house on a ranch, and we had like a bunch of animals and everything. Well, for some reason, this place had a basement, and I was terrified of it. Absolutely petrified. Like, I would not go near it, even during the daytime. Like, it was something I did not want to go near. And we had this big, huge barn. Well, even this barn, I could not go into it. Every time I would go into it, I felt like I was being followed. Felt like, I don't know, like someone was gawking at me, like completely like following me everywhere that I went. And like, I'm trying to remember like what exactly I used to dream about, but I don't remember, because like these night terrors, like I tell you, like the last one I had was in 2009, when I was in the hospital. And I kid you not, like, I can only remember the beginning, because it always starts at that house I lived at. And after that, it's, like, blurred. Like, I remember, like, there's the bridge, you're not supposed to, like, when you're walking across it, you can't look down. And then other parts where you're in trees, and it's just, like, this big, huge, like, unintelligible mess that I never really knew exactly what to think about. Like, whenever I started going to college, I was majoring in psychology, and the more and more we talked about dreams and like what they meant, like it didn't make sense. Well, because I know, like, dreams and night terrors are completely different things, but I don't know exactly why. But when we moved from Porterville to Tulare, this man would follow me. He would sit in empty chairs anywhere in the house during the nighttime, and he would wake me up. He would be following me around at nighttime, so I think that's kind of where me not being able to sleep came from. I haven't seen him since 2009, but I will describe him. He is this tall, kind of ethnic-looking man. I won't say African-American, because he's definitely not African-American. He is dressed in 1920s, dressed like kind of like nighttime attire, like peak coat, scarf, like a vest, dress shirt, tie, really nice olive colored suit with like the whole entire like hat, not top hat, but the other ones. He would sit in a chair and watch me sleep. But the thing is, when I would see him, I was looking at myself sleeping and seeing him looking at me. That's why I think I would astral project whenever I would see this. It's something that used to bother me a lot. Like, I was absolutely petrified of being home alone. I don't know, recently it's gotten better. Like, it's been a couple of years and haven't seen him, which I'm absolutely grateful for, but I always make sure that all the chairs are tucked in, like, no place in my room has an empty slot where he can sit. And as you can see, my closet doesn't have doors. Well, he used to stand in my closet. That's why I always have my closet cluttered on the floor. Not necessarily like how I usually, a bunch of mess on the floor, but as like my hampers, like my baskets and everything. Just make sure that everything is occupied. That way he can't sit, he can't stand, he can't be anywhere near me. It's something I'm probably gonna look into, try to see if I can figure out exactly what it means or where this is coming from, if I'm actually astral projecting, if, you know, something where I can actually base a career off of. Maybe I can get back into psychology, and who knows, maybe that's what I should do with my life now.